Welcome in to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour show. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons, on 93.7 The Ticket. I always start my show off giving a big shout out to Matt Warner out in Waverly, Nebraska, man. Empire Fencing, y'all keep doing what you're doing, and I appreciate all the love and support that you give the Get Your Happy On Hour show. So real honored that you guys think that much of me, because I think that much of you. You know, I'll be real honest with you, man. This is very, very interesting show that we're about to have. I got what I call one of my little brothers, and let me explain this before I even introduce him. If you played for Nebraska before me, you are officially my big brother. If you played at Nebraska after me, you are officially my little brother. That's a lifetime deal. It's an unwritten rule, but that's kind of the way we look at each other as part of this alumni. To be honest with you, I was very fortunate just to get this young man because he's really busy. So I'm not going to waste no more time because I got a lot of questions and things I want him to share with you. Former Husker, Kieron Williams, welcome to the show.
What's up, G, man? I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the fact that you took time out of your busy schedule to come, man. So it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people, they only know one side of your life, and that's, you know, which is not a bad thing, but, you know, it's that saying, once a Husker, always a Husker.
Right.
You know, that's kind of how they look at you
right.
for the rest of your life.
Right.
And I know you've already figured that part out,
right.
but that's just part of it. But, Kieron, I want you to share with us, man. I mean, I know some of it, but I want to learn too. So, where did you grow up?
Yeah, so originally I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. So I don't know if y'all familiar, but that's North Louisiana. So, you know, we country where we from. We're a little bit different in New Orleans area and stuff like that. But you know, it's definitely it's a different type of place to grow up. It ain't easy. A lot of people don't make it out of the city, but when you do make it out, it's a badge of honor that you put on from wherever you go.
Growing up in Shreveport, I actually know where Shreveport is because my mother is from a town about 30 miles from Shreveport, but it's called Marshall, Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
Right, that's where my mother was raised, and that's actually where she's buried. But yeah, I'm real because I think in Shreveport y'all got some stuff going on. Bossier City.
Yeah. We got
casinos.
Right. We got some casinos. we got some good football down there. It's good.
Well, let me ask you this now. Growing up in this town, I noticed you said it was very challenging. Yeah, is the nicest way I can say that. Yeah. But you somehow navigated that, and how did you stay clear of all of that?
I mean, I would really say my grandmother and my mom. You know, my grandmother's a praying woman, and my mom is she give out them whoopings when they need to be when it's necessary.
Well, you know, those are very, very necessary. But I think they done put a different label on it in today's society.
Right.
I call it discipline, but I think they call it child abuse.
Right.
Well, look, man. Now, what high school did you go to?
I went to Bird High School. So I went to Bird High School. We was one of the last schools to move from the Wing T. So I don't know if people who familiar with Wing T football, but that's your old school Nebraska football. So that's what we played when I was in high school.
Okay, and you were a defensive back in high school as well?
So I was a running back at first. I was a running back until I was a junior, and then I switched to defense. And I was a little upset about it, but I think my coaches saw a future for me that I didn't even see for myself. Okay. And they moved me to safety, and it was a wrap from there.
So you going through your senior year of high school, you was at a new position. Is that what I'm?
Yeah.
Well, you handled your business.
Right, yeah. I did all right for myself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm just using common sense here. Right. I mean, you don't make it to the next level if you don't do nothing on the high school level.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So now, right after high school, man, what was next for Kieron?
So right after high school, I went to the Air Force Academy. I ended up tearing my knee. I had tore my quad of my patella going into my freshman year of college, and Air Force Academy was one of the schools that stuck with me through that. Okay. And so I ended up going there, and then I transferred from there to the University of Nebraska after my first year. So it was a dope transition for me, and I enjoyed it.
When you first came to Nebraska, what was that like? Because, I mean, I'm from the South, too,
Yeah.
you know, growing up in Texas.
Right.
Nebraska's a little different animal, you know.
Yeah.
What was your take on coming here?
I mean, coming from the Air Force Academy, I mean, we might have had some games, and I was at the prep school for me to be clear. So there were some games there was nobody in the stands, let alone 90,000 people. You know, so
Right.
yeah, I mean, it was definitely different. It was definitely a transition, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every single snap.
Well, let me ask you this: you actually had a very, very successful career in Nebraska, because a lot of people they don't understand the concept of sticking it out.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, just the fact that you overcame the knee injury,
Right.
and you end up staying in Nebraska. Who were some of the players you played with?
So I mean, like my freshman year, I played with Amir and Kenny, guys like that. And then, I mean, my favorite quarterback that I was able to play with was Tommy Armstrong. I mean, I think he's still one of the best quarterbacks that ever played in Nebraska.
Yes,
But I mean, I might have some bias.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I was able to play with guys like that. Randy Gregory, I mean, generational talent.
Right.
Malik Collins, generational. Vincent Valentine, generational.
Right.
Chris Jones. Yeah, some Stanley Morgan. I mean, a lot of guys that was just generational guys.
And when you were at Nebraska, your head coaches was?
So I started with Coach Bo, and then I had Riley for 3 years. So,
Okay.
yeah, Bo, he was my dog, and I appreciate everything that he did, and I appreciate Coach Riley for everything they did as well.
Well, I really admire the fact that you are able to acknowledge the trials and tribulations. You know, a lot of people don't want to talk about that part.
Mhm.
You know, they just only want to talk about the highlights.
Right.
But, you know, I appreciate you sharing the fact that you tore your knee, because
Yeah.
that plays a big role in it. Because a lot of times when people have a severe injury like that, they just say, well, you know, maybe football's not in the cards for me.
Right. Right.
But that wasn't the case with you.
No, that wasn't the case at all. I mean, I've been playing football since I was 4 years old, so I already knew, you know, once I got to that point, like originally, one of my first offers was Ole Miss. So, I mean, I knew I had the talent to be able to go to the next level if I could overcome this injury and if I was able to rehab in the way that I could. And so once I, you know, got to Air Force and I was able to rehab for a year, take some time, play on a smaller level, I already knew when I got to Nebraska what it was going to be. But, I mean, I think God gave me some challenges when I first got here to get me ready. But even when I look back at it, those weren't even challenges. I still blocked 4 punts my freshman year. I almost broke the record, you know. So it was, I mean, he was working the whole time, you know.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
But, you know, you did your part as well. You know, a lot of times I'm a very spiritual guy myself. I actually believe in God.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think God gives us something on the inside,
Yeah.
and we have to utilize it. And that
Yeah.
sounds like that's exactly what you did.
Yeah, for sure.
When you, your whole time in Nebraska, man, how did the weather affect you? Because I know coming from the South, that's a little different climate.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, it was definitely different climate. I think, like I said, Colorado got me ready for it. Air Force got me ready for it. We would play games where it was negatives. So when I got here, I was kind of already prepared for it, but now it's different being in the game and it's negatives, right? So
Yeah.
So yeah,
You can't bundle up on the
right,
side.
right, yeah, right. So it worked out. It worked out. I enjoyed it a lot. It was different. Like, I mean, at home we would play during hurricane season sometimes, and so you
Yeah.
know it's pouring down. So the difference from that was you go from pouring down raining to pouring down snowing. So it was yeah.
But no, man, you know, I really admire the fact that, and I'm saying this from personal experience, I went straight from Greenville, Texas to Nebraska.
Right.
And I'll be honest with you, that first winter, dude, I wasn't in a good place
Right.
mentally.
Right.
You know,
For sure.
I had never seen nothing like that.
For sure.
And the rules were different. You know, like where we from, man, you know, if it snows, they cancel stuff. You
Right,
know?
for sure.
Up here, it's like another day.
Right,
No
right,
big
yeah.
deal.
At home, once it hits a certain temperature, the pipes freeze and everything.
Right.
The roads shut down. But so I remember my freshman year, it was like me and all my homies from Louisiana, like Jariah, Glenn, a couple of my Texas homies like Trey, and we looked outside, bro. It might have been like a foot of snow.
Yeah.
We just went back to sleep.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
our phones blowing up. Like, bro, where y'all at? I'm like, bro, do you not see it outside? Like, bro, we not going nowhere today. And Coach Bo was pissed, but then he met with us and he was like, look, bro, y'all got to get up here. I know it's snowing, but y'all got to get up here. So, but it worked out, though. It definitely was different, though.
Yeah,
Definitely
you know, it's an adjustment that a lot of people that are from the Midwest don't realize that athletes that come here from, especially the South, I mean, but anywhere, California, Florida.
Right.
I mean, it's just a different mindset you have to be in because you came here for a purpose.
For sure.
But the weather kind of dictates what we call a purpose.
Right, for sure. For sure.
Okay, well, Kieron, I have to ask this question too. After you got done with Nebraska, what was next for Kieron?
So after I finished, my goal was NFL. Like that was what my goal was. So I was able to, play in the college gridiron showcase. I was able to work out in front of some NFL teams, and then my first real opportunity came with the AAF. So that was one of the first developmental leagues that was able to pay guys. And so for me, it made more sense for me instead of, jumping from workout to team workout where I might not be getting paid. If I could go and make some money and get some tape at the same time, it made sense. And so I jumped straight into the AAF. I was able to start 5 games there, play well. Unfortunately, our season kind of ended earlier than it was supposed to. Okay. And then after that, I was able to go up to Canada, able to do well up there. And then I got an opportunity with the USFL in Michigan, and I was able to do my thing there. And I ended up tearing my labrum, and so I had to take a year and a half off. But now my goal is to get back with the UFL and be able to continue to chase that goal. So I think, because I truly believe if he says we can do all things. And so I think if you truly believe that and you right with yourself and you living right and you doing the things that you're supposed to do, it's all going to work out for the good. So
I believe that as well. And, and I noticed that you have constantly put in work. I had the pleasure of seeing you at the camp with Coach Dub. You guys were all out there putting in work, and there was a lot of pro athletes around you. So that kind of keeps you on task.
Yeah,
you know what you need to do, man, and for that, I just want to say I'm proud of you.
Appreciate
because
it.
Fighting through injuries, man, and playing football is way more difficult because people don't see there's no cameras around the rehab.
Yeah, nah.
So that rehab, like when you tore your shoulder, how long a rehab process was that?
All total, it was 16 months before I was like full range of motion, could fully lift how I wanted to and be, back. So, and having an injury like that at 27, 28 years old is different than having it when I was 17, 18 years old.
Right,
right. But I think it all worked out because where I was mentally, it made me sharper. I got a lot sharper mentally. I got a lot sharper spiritually, and so I think now with the next opportunity that I get, it's if I balled out being in the mental space and the spiritual space that I was at, like I can just imagine what God's gonna allow me to do once I get in there and I'm in the right mental, spiritual, physical place.
Well, the thing about it is, and I want everybody to hear this, when it comes to especially playing football or any sport, as far as that goes, the talent is good to have. But there's a lot more involved than just talent.
Right.
There's a mental game, and of course there's a physical game. But just to be able to deal with adversity, and it sounds like to me, adversity has struck several times.
Yeah, but I think just like anybody, that's everybody, man. I think everybody has adversity. We all gonna have a different type of adversity. It's how you face the adversity. Are you gonna lay down? Are you gonna quit? Or are you gonna keep going? So, and I think the game that we were fortunate enough to play, you gonna see adversity almost every snap.
Right.
Especially being a DB, you can be good all game, and you can have that last play go over your head for a touchdown. You lose the game, and nobody talking about the first 4 quarters.
Right.
3.5 quarters, how many ever quarters, right? They're going to talk about that one play. So,
and that is a microcosm, I would say, of society.
Yeah.
We're real good at focusing on the negative, not the positive doesn't stand as much of, or it doesn't get the attention.
Yeah.
I'll just say it that way. I admire the fact that, even through the adversity of injuries, I use this term for myself, but I think it applies to you as well. So I'm going to say it like this. Your quit button is broke also because you don't know how to quit. Oh,
yeah, nah, for sure. We ain't got no quit.
Yeah, and saying I'm the same way. I just think in life my quit button is broke. I'm going to always keep getting up and trying to do something.
Right.
Even if I don't succeed to the length that I thought I should have.
Yeah.
And, if I'm blessed to see tomorrow, then I'll try again tomorrow,
you know. For sure.
And I like that no-quit mindset that you have, man. And I want you to share with us also, while I'm thinking about it, man. Tell me about when you were in that USFL.
Mm-hmm.
What was that experience like? I had the opportunity to play in that league for a couple of years too. So what was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was dope. I mean, it was an opportunity to get back on the field, opportunity to make some money, opportunity to continue to chase my dreams. I enjoyed being able to play different positions that I didn't play. Like I got a chance to play some nickel. I got a chance to run a whole lot of gunner on special teams. Got a chance to obviously play safety and do my thing. So, it was a blessing, and I was able to get some looks, talk to some coaches I never got to talk to. Talk to Washington, talk to Baltimore, teams like that. It really put me in a good space to know, okay, hey, you can still play this game at a high level. Because I think going into it, I was questioning myself a little bit, like, do I still got it? Like, I'm seeing guys 22 and I'm 28 at the time, or 27 at the time. It's like, all right, can I still do this? And being able to put myself or God being able to put me in those positions to be able to make plays, it showed me, okay, hey, you can still do this, and gave me the confidence to come back from this injury to be able to do it again.
So now we're back to full strength.
Yeah. And,
man, I just want you to know that it's very, very important, man, that you keep that mindset that you got. I want to personally, on air, I want to say I'm proud of you, and I want you to continue, because I don't know what it is, but people encouraging each other seems to be kind of scarce.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just my take.
For sure.
I'm not saying that's for you or anyone else, but from what I see, but not just sports, man. I kind of want to shift for just a second. Tell us about some of your things that you do away from sports, because you got a lot going on, man. And I mean, only the things that you're comfortable sharing. But I mean, I just think the public needs to know some of the events that you're involved in.
Yeah, so when I first graduated, I started a brand called Bet on Yourself, which is a clothing as well as a marketing company agency. So I've been blessed to work with some huge companies like Thirst Project and Gary Vee and Lululemon. You name it. We've been able to travel. We've been able to go to Spain. We recently just got back from Monaco. We went out there in October, so just being able to work on different projects and find a passion outside of the game, I think, has been important. And then also, like, being able to brand myself, being able to do collaborations with people like Terrence Crawford, doing collaborations with people like Jared Anderson and Teray Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson, just being able to be blessed enough to be in some of those circles. And, those are things that we never planned on. Like, when I graduated, Jamie Belt, shout out to Jamie Belt, one of the best strength coaches in the world, I say, he was already training Bud, and I didn't have anywhere to train. And he was like, hey, man, stay in Lincoln, let me train you, and didn't charge me a penny, And so to this day, he's one of my best friends, one of the best coaches I ever been around, and he made an introduction to a guy like a Terrence Crawford in 2016, 17, when people were still sleeping on Bud. Now everybody's Bud fans, support him, but 2017, I was there.
Right.
People weren't supporting Bud how they is today. So,
and see, the fact that you brought that up points out another thing. It's the grind that no one really sees, because there's no cameras on the grind.
Right, for sure.
Then once they see the success, then,
right, for sure.
I call it bandwagon.
Right.
People hopping on.
Right.
But you know what? That's just part of the deal. And at some point, man, I just want you to know that you're right. You've been blessed just to be in the circles that you're in and being able to do the things that you do. When next time you see Bud Crawford, man, you tell him that I'm a fan.
For sure.
And I've been a fan.
For sure.
I didn't just start being a fan. So look, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back. Don't you guys go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket is to get you happy on hour.
To the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Well, we're back. I'm sitting there having a great conversation with my little brother, former Husker, Kieron Williams. Kieron, before the break, we was discussing a little bit about Bud. Man, tell us about Bud. I mean, what's it like? Because you had the opportunity to spend time with him before he became who he is today.
Yeah. Hardest worker in the room.
Hardest worker in the room.
Hardest worker in the room every day. Being around those guys, not even just him, but like guys like Steven, guys like Ali, guys like Boubacar, guys like, I mean, who else is in that gym? I mean, Shakur, Jamel Herring, I mean, all those dudes. I mean, you get a chance to be around fighters in they sport. They don't play they sport. You can't play boxing. You going in there with an intent to do something dangerous to somebody else. So I think being up close to that and seeing the work and the dedication that it takes to keep that up, and also seeing like him go through the fact of like not being able to get the fights that he want, and you don't never hear the dude complain. You might hear here and there when it was really that time to try to get that Spence fight. He was like, all right, bro, y'all plans. But before that, he ain't say a word. He just worked. He just worked. He took the fights that he got, and he just kept working and kept working. So I think seeing that up close and personal was a blessing to me. And then I remember at the parade, with him, allowing me to do the collaboration with him with the shirt that we did together. I said, bro, thank you.
Yes.
Because you have to. To me, you the Muhammad Ali of our generation. You didn't have to allow me to do a partnership with you, but you did.
From what I've gathered, I mean, I'm on the outside looking in, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but from everything I have seen on Bud Crawford, he's a very humble, down-to-earth guy. Am I?
Real people.
Yeah.
He real people.
That's important to me because humility and accountability seems like those are important to him as well. Am I off on that? Or?
Nah, you on point. I mean, the dude that, like I said, with their sport, you can't play it. And so when you get in there, it's going to show. It's going to show who been working. It's going to show who been up late. It's going to show who been up early. And I think you seen the culmination of that in the Spence fight. He made a guy who was Olympian look like Joe Schmo.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
So it showed.
I want to give a special shout out to Bud Crawford, man. I'm proud of you as a person because from what I do, like I admitted, I don't know you personally, but I'm looking forward to hopefully one day meeting you. I actually want to extend the opportunity for you to come on the show, man, and tell Bud's side of the story because everybody paints a narrative when you're doing what he's doing.
For sure.
So, Bud, just know, man, that you got love down here, and thank you for what you're doing for my little brother, too, because you didn't have to do it. I agree with him on that. And the fact that you was humble enough to take him in the way you have and work with him and support him, I just personally want to say thank you, Bud, and keep doing what you do and keep doing big things. Kieron, I always want to call you Byron.
That's my homie. Shout out to Byron.
Byron. Well, Kieron, I'll say it like this, man. You, ever since I've known you, you've always been a person that didn't have a problem with working. And I've followed you over the years from afar, and I see the grind. I see you go through the grind. And a lot like you were speaking on boxing, how you can't play boxing, I see you putting in the work behind the scenes.
Sure. And
that right there says a lot about you because it's when the cameras aren't on, it's real easy to take a day or two off or a month off.
For sure.
And I haven't seen that with you. So I just want you to know that what you're doing is not going unnoticed.
Appreciate that.
Could you tell us more about the bet on yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, Bet on Yourself, it was a brand that I started in 2018 just as a concept, and it was really called Fake Ink. And the idea behind it is I looked at all these high-level brands like Supreme, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and I didn't really see them supporting the people that supported them. I think when you see there's a lot of people of color that support a lot of these big companies, but there's no give back. And so when I created quote unquote Fake Ink, my idea was real love and really showing love to those communities. Now that developed in 2018 and I think it's might have been end of 2020, early 2021, to bet on yourself, because I wanted to give those people a message that I was supporting in that community. Hey, we have a company here that wants to inspire you to bet on yourself, to make yourself better, so you can get out of subsidized housing, so you can get out of the situations that you in, drug abuse or whatever it is, or ego abuse for people who got money but you got an ego problem, right? I think it was about just being able to just help people overall to understand, like, hey, you can take the chance on yourself and you don't have to depend on nobody else to do it. God made you, you know, he made you in his image, so you can do whatever you put your mind to, but you got to be willing to put the time and the work in to do it.
You know, that takes a special mindset from you to even want to take on that, because there again, that's something positive.
Sure.
You know, and we already know that sometimes positivity just don't get the credit that it deserves, and it doesn't get the support.
For sure.
But you know, I also noticed that you've formed rallies.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, could you tell us about how that came about?
Yeah, so I mean, in 2020, I think it was, to me, I felt like it was because I am vocal. If you see me on the field, if you see me anywhere, you know I'm going to say something. I ain't the type I ain't going to sit on the sideline. So when everything was going on in 2020, I saw that from one side of it, it was the message that was trying to be put out, which was a positive one, was being put out in a negative fashion. And so I wanted to be the person to come in and say, nah, let's do it this way. Let's lead it with love, but let's also say that, hey, this is not something that we'll stand for. And I think it's having that Malcolm Luther King.
Gotcha.
Where it's, you know, I'm not playing, but I also come in peace. And so I think, you know, having my grandmother tattooed on me, she had the big fro back in the day, and she grew up during the segregation times and things like that. Right. She had the same mentality, like, hey, we leading with love, but we're not standing for anything going against our people. You know,
I admired that, and I actually attended that rally because I like to support things that are going to uplift people.
For sure.
And it's not, to me, I don't care who you are or what color you are, what race you are. That doesn't matter to me. How you treat people is what I look at. You know, if you green and you nice to me, you got a friend.
Right, for sure.
Know? So, I mean, it's not personal like that.
Right.
Because I think, my opinion, I think that divide and conquer has worked for so long, and it's currently still working. To a certain degree. Yeah, I'm just doing my best to try and spin that narrative, and I that's why I supported your rally, because I see you doing and leading by example.
For sure,
it's real easy to sit on the sideline after the fact with hindsight at your side and make predictions or throw rocks or whatever, or you know, that's an easy deal to do. Yeah, but to get out in front like you've been doing, man, I just want you to know, man, there's another feather in your cap.
For sure.
And you're building a very impressive resume. And I know you're just really, in your mind, you're probably thinking you're just getting started, which you are, you know, but I just want you to know you're off to a great start.
I appreciate that.
And you just need to keep doing that. Uplifting people is something that's become somewhat of a lost art.
Yeah. Because
everybody has been geared to think about me.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I'm not saying you shouldn't care about yourself.
Right.
No, I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you can care for yourself and still help others.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
For sure.
What's next for Kieron? I'm just kind of curious. What's on the agenda?
We're just going to keep evolving, man. We're just going to keep evolving. We're just going to keep working. We're just going to keep seeing what God got in front of us. And his light is like a foot by his guidance is like a light by our feet. So if you've ever been in an old school house and if your power ever done went out and you lit some candles, you can only see as far as that candle go.
Right.
So I think that's just kind of where I am right now. Like, I mean, obviously I have big ambitions and big things that I want to do, but I'm gonna take it a day at a time, and I'm gonna take it a evolution at a time, and just keep grinding.
Well, I think that's a great way to look at it, because sometimes when you set your expectations on one thing, and it doesn't work exactly how you felt it should work, it's real easy to get discouraged and just say, man, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I always joke with people when I say this, but I really mean it, kind of like the Malcolm Martin thing. If you really want to make God laugh, make a plan.
Make a plan.
Yeah, I agree with that concept because we're not in control of everything, even though some people may think or place value on material stuff. But
right.
For example purposes, my bank account's great.
Right.
So, okay, I know a lot of people with a great bank account,
right,
but their personal life is not where it should be or
right.
where they would like for it to be.
Right.
So I think a matter of prioritizing. Money is a tool that can definitely help. I'm not knocking people with money. I'm just saying, where's your heart at?
Right, for sure.
Yeah. So I've also seen you. So could you share with us what you've? Because I know this. I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Why is it so important to Kieron Williams that you give back to our youth?
I mean, I have people give back to me. I think it's just always, even from my coaches to Little League to, blessing being able to work with guys like Ryan Clark, people that I looked up to, being able to have lunches with Troy Polamalu, Michael Vick. I mean, dudes like that didn't have to give me their time, but they chose to, So I think, if I'm around, bro, I'm a help. Like if I'm, because why would I harbor the knowledge that I have or the time that I have? Like, that doesn't even make sense. So, I just always just try to be there. If I can be there, I'm going to be there. And if I can give you some knowledge or some game, I'm going to give it to you because I know OGs like yourself have gave me game that maybe in the time when you was giving it to me, it didn't register, but later on down the line, I'm like, okay, what Ricky said, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's a big part of helping too, man. I want you to always remember that. I look at it kind of like, and I'm not claiming to be before I say this, but the concept of farming.
Yeah, for sure.
You planting seeds.
Yeah, you plant seeds.
Yeah,
for sure.
It might be a minute before those seeds actually grow.
Right.
But the fact that you planted them gives them the opportunity to grow, and I just want you to know that you should continue doing that, man. Is there anything in particular, man? I'm just kind of curious while we're talking. Is there anybody you want to give shout outs to?
I mean, definitely my family. My grandmother, my mom, my stepdad, my little brother. My close camp. They keep me up. And my girl, she keep me up. My two dogs. So I mean, I think it's important as you doing this journey to make sure to not forget what's right in the car with you. I think a lot of times when we ride in places, we think about getting to the place and forgetting about who in the car with us.
Right,
so
right.
That's why I try to keep close to me because I think in my younger 20s, it was all about the place, and
you get there.
You forgetting who in the car,
right.
And before you know it, grandma passed, uncle passed, such and such passed, but they was in the car, but you was so focused on getting to the place that you missed out on those opportunities to connect with those people. So,
is there a reason why it's important to you to help others? I'm just curious. What's your personal reason for that? I know you said people gave back to you.
For sure.
But still, people give back to people all the time, and they they take it as if they was owed that.
Right. I mean, I just think it's innate. I think I've always seen my family do it. I've always seen, I mean, whether it was my great-grandmother who was taking care of, I guess they were like my third cousins. One of them is schizophrenic. The other one, who grew up in the segregation times, he still doesn't know how to read and write to this day, but my great grandmother took care of them, and then my mom stepped in, and now she takes care of my, I guess, second, third cousin, my great uncle, so like, I mean, this was just my family. Yeah, that's what I know. That's what I was raised.
And I'm glad to hear that because see, unfortunately, a lot of time when people have been blessed to have people in their life like yourself and myself included, we tend to have amnesia once we kind of arrive, so to say, and have a little bit of success. I always try to explain to people that a big part of why I do what I do is because, first of all, life wasn't promised. And if you can't help nobody, what are you really doing?
For sure.
You can make billions, but I have yet to see a funeral where the hearse was being chased by a brink truck.
Right.
So
can't take it with you.
Right. So
Right.
I just think if you can plant enough seeds while you are able, I think
sure.
it'll last a lot longer than this individual goals or of height
For sure.
that you could achieve on your own.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take another quick break, man, and we'll come back and wrap this show up, man. I'm having a great time with my little brother, Kieron Williams. Don't y'all go anywhere. It's 93.7 The Ticket, just to get you happy on it.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Well, we're back. Man, I'm just very impressed with my little brother, Kieron Williams, former Husker, man, DB. Dude is still a very young man and doing big things already. He's already accomplished quite a bit. And before I run out of time, I want to thank you again personally, man, for
Welcome.
coming down and making the time to be a guest, man. That means a lot to me. You know, with all the adversity that we deal with in life, you know, I'm trying to show in my own way that there are people out here that actually care about other people. And everybody is not so self-centered that even when they have a little success, then they get this amnesia thing.
Yeah.
I think that it's real important what you're doing, Kieron.
Appreciate it.
Like I said, I know you don't need people to give you any credit because you're going to do what you do anyways.
Sure.
I understand that concept better than most, but I want to publicly just say it on air, I'm proud of you again.
I appreciate that.
I want people to know that you can be happy for someone other than yourself.
For sure.
So you keep doing what you're doing. How does people, if someone wanted to reach out to Kieron, I'm just curious,
Yeah.
what's the best way to reach out and get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I mean, Instagram, Twitter, just type in Kieron Williams, you'll find me. Twitter is DK_Williams. If you want to support Bet On Yourself, it's betonyourself.clothing. And then if you want to check us out on Instagram, it's betonyourself.clothing. So, yeah, man, I'm. You can always shoot me a DM, follow me. I try my best to follow people back. If they shoot me a DM or something like that, if you need something, I'm always here. Yeah, I love Lincoln. Go Big Red. And I will be hopefully at some home games this year and supporting the team.
Okay. Well, like I said, you're doing big things, man, and thank you for sharing your contact information because that way you save me a lot of trouble of, man, how you get in touch with Kieron?
Right.
I'll be like, man, you must then pay attention and watch the show.
Right.
You know, because he told y'all how. Y'all know I don't know all this stuff, man. I mean,
Right.
I'm old school. And Facebook, maybe a little Instagram and a X here and there.
Right.
I sampled TikTok. I still don't understand it,
Right.
but I'm still trying to learn.
I'm there with you. I don't understand TikTok like that,
Yeah.
but I try.
mean,
I'm
but
trying to figure
I know
it
it's
out.
important because social media is really, really a big deal. And I don't knock technology. I just think that it should be a tool.
Yeah, right.
And not your main focus all
For
the
sure.
time. Because sometimes you can miss blessings
Right.
messing with technology.
For sure.
So it has its benefits.
Yeah.
And it has its also side effects.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the way I'll say that.
For sure. For sure.
Well, hey, I think I'm going to go ahead and ask my question, man. I want to know, with all the stuff you shared, when you do get a chance, how does Kieron Williams get his happy on?
Man, I enjoy spending time with my girl and my dogs, man. For real. Like when I get some downtime, we just kicking it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I like one of my best friends. I was able to bring him out here and bring him on my team. His name is Byron. So that's why when you said that earlier,
Big shout out to Byron.
That's what I'm saying.
So
Big shout out to
that
Byron.
was an honest mistake, but it was a good one.
Right. So yeah, man, I just kick it with my people, man. So yeah.
Well, I think it's important that you keep your circles tight and small, if preferably.
For sure.
That way you know what you're dealing with.
For sure.
Well, I want to thank everybody else for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday. I end each show the same way, and I'm going to do it again today. Every day you blessed to see, it's just another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on. Go! We'll see y'all next Sunday.